Hi guys, in my last video, I took you through how to create or how to draft a wrap style blouse with deep v-neck and circular hemline sleeves. And that was part one of it. We were able to draft the front part of this beautiful top. And as I said, it's two patterns in one. That is, you can sew it as a top up to your hip, higher hip level, or you can just make it as a top only at your waist level. And in that video, we're able to generate just the front part. That was part one. In this part two, we are going to be drafting the back part and of course the hem half circle sleeve in this second part of this video. If that is what interests you, then stay tuned and let's get straight to SEAMLY2D, a completely free CAD pattern drafting software that we are going to be using to continue to draft our wrap style blouse. This is by SEAMLY2D, and as I said, we are continuing from where we stopped in part 1. So now we are going to start with the back part. And before you can start, of course, you need to highlight the pattern piece. And to do that, you just come to where you have your draft block and click on the piece you want to start working on. And we are working with EU size 32. Now, if you want to know how to generate multiple sizes in SEAMLY2D, please watch my SEAMLY2D playlist. It's part of the videos. I have over 15 videos on SEAMLY2D. Everything you need to know about SEAMLY2D to be able to start using it to generate your CAD pattern draft or your digital patterns. Now we have highlighted the back part. There's nothing much that we are going to be doing on this back part except to extend this to the hip level. So what I want to do, I think I need to reduce it a little bit so that I have space to extend it down here. So what we need to do now, we're going to extend this line B1 up to the center back hip length. So we're going to be using this tool right here. We are going to go from B1, we're coming down, and down, remember, is to 70 degrees. If you're just landing on this video and you don't know what all this means, please watch my playlist because you will not understand if you do not watch the playlist and know how to use all these pattern drafting tools. So we're looking for a hip. So we just put in here hip. You see hip arc, half back, hip circumference. I want something, I want waist to hip. I want waist to hip, so I'll put in waist and then let's look for waist to hip. Okay, that is waist to hip front, this is waist to hip back. So waist to hip back, this is what we're looking for. So we click on it, say okay, and we hit on apply. And you see that it is already applied. So now we are going to square it to this side, and that will be the hip circumference. So we're now going to go back to that same tool. From here, we are coming this way. And that is 360. We are using FX and we are looking for hip circumference. or hip hack back. Hip hack half back. We are working on half part of the pattern. So this is what we are looking for. Let's remove this and then we click that and then we say okay and we click on apply. So that is our hip hack back. So all you have to do now is to join this to this. So to do that, I need to know which one I'm joining. Let me shift this one so there is no confusion. So this is the one I'm joining. This one is for this one. So it's B16 I'm joining to B31. And we're going to be using our curve to be able to do that. So we'll go to curve and we're using this curve because we are joining just 2 points. If you're joining more than 2 points, you use the spline. Watch my videos. I have a dedicated video talking about every section of this tool, taking you through how to use each of these tools one by one. So let's use this one and let's create our hip curve. You know that when you do that, when you click on it, you see these two tiny lines that come out. That is what you normally use to adjust the curves to be the way you want it. I think that looks okay. So all the need now is to do the second curve right here because the thing cannot be completely straight. It has to curve when you're joining it together. So we come back again and we are joining B1 to B16 again. And of course we have this and we are just going to adjust it the way we want it to be. I need to remove all this so I see what I'm doing. That's what I was looking for, this particular second one. So we adjust it very well. Use the second one and we adjust it. It doesn't look as difficult as you think, oh. It's not that difficult. When you continue to use SEAMLY2D, you see how easy it is to use and how amazing you can generate different kinds of patterns. Okay, I think we are okay like that. Good. That is all you need to do for this particular back part. So now we are done with the back part. What we need to do now is to extract it, and we are going to be extracting the upper part first and then we extract the lower part. You cannot extract it at once like that because of this dart. I've done a video before to show you that if you're having darts like this, it's not easy to extract. It's better you extract them separately because you need to have an enclosure to be able to extract a dart from SEAMLY2D. If there's any kind of opening anywhere, it doesn't really work. Like if I have a dart here now and I want to extract, I still cannot extract it together. I have to extract the lower part and then the upper part separately. Then when you're putting your patterns together as a PDF, you'll be able to sew it together. Now I need to do some corrections. Remember in the front part, we removed the dart distance. We've not done that yet, so we cannot extract it yet. So what we are going to do now, I'm going to draw a line from B16 towards B1 that is going to be B1 B26 line plus B27 B16 line. And then from there we can now draw our curve and then draw our curve right like so. So quickly, let's do that. That we are going to be using points, and I'm going to be using this, and I'm going to be going from here to B1. No, let me use, I think I should use this one. No, let me leave it. Okay. So that is 180. Then we're using FX because we're going to be joining two line lengths. So we go here. Let me shift this. Let me see what I'm doing. Oh dear, this is covered. Good. So I'm looking for B1, B26, and B27, B16. So I'll do that again. Now we're looking at line lengths. So we're looking at B1, B1, B26. That's it here. I need to remove this. Line B1, B26 plus B27, B16. So let's put in here B27. That's what we're looking for, B27, B16. And okay, and we are going to apply. Okay, so that's B32. So that means we are going to do a curve from here to B16 and a curve from here to meet up B30. So we're now going to go to curves. We're going to be using this and we'll curve from B32 to B16. So just curve it well. Okay, I think that's okay. Then we'll do the second curve, and that is from B32 to B30. So that's it. So by the time you sewed these darts together, this will now shift and form a very good curve at the back. You can continue to adjust it. If you're not too satisfied with it, you can adjust it the way you want. Okay, so all we need to do now is to extract. As I said, we need to extract the top first, then we extract the bottom next. I'm not going to show you how to extract. I have a lot of videos in my playlist where I take you through details how to extract. So I'll quickly extract it and then we go ahead and work on the sleeves. I've extracted the back part. This is the back part here under piece. So now let's go ahead and work on the sleeve. The very first thing you need to do from your basic sleeve, this is a basic sleeve. If you want to know how this was created, please check my playlist immediately under this video. The very first playlist, you'll see it there, SEAMLY2D playlist. I have a lot of videos there that takes you through how to create all the basic parts of your patterns. So now this is the basic sleeve. The very first thing you need to do before you can even use this sleeve to start creating different kinds of sleeves is to create what I call a dartless sleeve. So to do that, we are going to draw a line from C8, C29. That will be the length of the line. You're also going to draw another line from C9 to C16. And then we just cross over like that. Cross it over. So to do that, we are going to be using this, I'll use this tool. And I'm going to be from C8, draw it down. So that is 270. Going to use effects, and it's going to be line length. We are doing C8. C8, C29, that's what I'm looking for. C8, C29. I don't have it here. Ah, sorry, not line length. Spleen. Sorry, curve length. I was wondering why I didn't see it. Curve length. That's it. Spring part C8, C29. Let me remove this first, and then that. So that's the length I want. So click on OK, and we click on Apply. So that's it for that side. Do the same thing here, C9, C16. Come back to the tool, click on C9, come down, Effects, line length. We're looking for C9. Let me remove this. C9, C9, C16. That's it here. Okay. Apply. Okay. We'll now join the 2 points of C31 to C30. We'll go to line, join the points. We are joining 31 to 30. So this is now going to be our working sleeve. That's what we are going to be using to, whatever style you're going to be making, whatever sleeve style. This is the dartless sleeve we are going to be using. So now let's start with creating our hemline semicircular sleeve. The sleeve is not so long, it's short. So the very first thing we need to do now is to create a distance from the bicep about 2 inches down. 2 inches is about 5.08 centimeters. So let's go back to point. Let's grab this tool. And we're going to be doing from here to here. And the distance we want is 5.08 centimeters. So that's it there. So now I'm going to draw a line to meet this line. Let me go to line here. But first, let me draw a line from C because it's going to form our working pattern. C to C22. And then I'm going to go to, I think, point. Which tool will I use now? Should be this tool. Come and create a point here. I believe you're getting value from this video, and I believe you're actually enjoying the video. If for any reason creating digital patterns with SEAMLY2D seems a little too complicated for you, but you want this particular pattern, you like to make it for yourself, you can click the link below to take you to my digital store where you can actually download this pattern and make it for your size. I have from size 32, EU 32 to EU 48. You will get these patterns for a very small token. Thank you for patronizing me by buying those patterns, because it will help me to continue to make informed videos like the one you're watching. Let's continue with the video. I've gone ahead to create groups because we cannot work on the sleeves like this. Remember, we are making a semicircle hemline sleeve. We're doing the semicircle hemline sleeve. So what we need to do now is to create a group just for the working sleeve we are going to be using to create this short semicircle hemline sleeve. So I've created a group. What I need to do now, if I remove that, that is it. That's the group, circular sleeve working piece. So this is what we are going to use now to create our semicircle hemline sleeve. And to do that, first of all, we are going to divide this hemline into 4 equal parts. And we are going to be using points. We are going to be using this one first. So C32 by C33. Okay. Then we'll use it again. We'll divide C32 by C34 and okay. We'll use it again. Then we'll divide C34 by C33. Okay. So we have our 4 parts. Now let's create a line across from each of the points. And we are going to be using this particular one. We'll start here. Create the first line. And just use any kind of length because we'll still have to create a point. So let me just use 25 centimeters. You can put in 20 or 25, as long as it crosses the curve. But we're going to create points too there. So let's do the second one. It's from here. No, not there. Sorry. Let's do the second one is from here now. Here. Create another point. Give it 20. And then the last one from here. And then maybe let's give it 10. Okay, good. So now we have our lines here. We are going to create points intersecting the arc and each of these lines because we need those points when we are ready to move and create our semicircle hemline sleeve. And to do that, we are using this particular tool. So once you click on it, you first click on the spline, and then you click on the line you want to intersect, and this comes out. So we're now going to create a point here where it intersects with the spline. So we'll do the same thing for the last line. We click on it, we click on the curve, and of course on the line, and then we create that point right here. Good. So now we're going to delete all these other points so that it won't cause confusion. So the points we're going to be working with now is all these other points. 40, 41, 42, and C8. So let's remove all these ones. So just click on it and then delete it, and it will go off. You click on it and delete it. So those are the points we are now going to be working with. Good. Now to create your hemline semicircle, we need to shift these lines this way. This first line, this is C32. We are going to have to shift it first, and we're going to shift it by 4.5 centimeters. So the very first thing we need to do is to create that point where this line is going to shift to. So we're now going to be using this particular one. We're going to be using this 2, and it will be from C32 to wherever here. And the length we want is 4.5 centimeters. Now it depends on you. If you want to make the shifting to be up to 12, this very first line will be half of the shifting of the rest of the lines. Me, I want to be shifting it by 9 centimeters each. That's why this first line is 4.5 centimeters. I repeat, the first shifting is 4.5 because the other 3 lines are going to be shifting by 9 centimeters. So the first one will be half because you're going to be cutting your sleeve on the fold. That's why this first line shifting will be just half of what we are going to be doing. So we've shifted that, and that is C37. You can write it down so that you won't, if it's going to confuse you. Because once we start doing the shifting now, there's going to be a lot of numbers here. So we are shifting this C32 to C37. That is 4.5 centimeters. You know. So now, to do that, we are going to be going to operations, and we are using this rotation tool. So we click on that, and the only thing we are shifting is this C32. And then once I click that, I click on enter, and then it's starting from here. So you can see that line, that's the pink line there. This line is there at C32, and we're only shifting it to exactly C37. So once you get to that C37 point, you just hit your mouse and then click on OK. So C32 is now C32C4. So we're now going to join C to this C32C4. That is the next, that is the line. So we now go to line. If you don't understand this thing, just watch it several times. Because sometimes at times it will look a little complicated. But if you watch all my playlists on SEAMLY2D, it won't be so complicated once you know how to use all the tools and what you should use them for. So let's create our line now from C to C32C4. So that's the next line. These subsequent points are going to be moving by 9 centimeters each. So 35 is going to move by 9 centimeters, 34 by C34 by 9 centimeters, this and this up by 9 centimeters. So first of all, let's create a point where C35 is going to move to. That's going to be 9 centimeters from this exact point. And once we shift C35 to that particular point, every other one will also shift correspondingly. So let's first create that 9 centimeter point, and we are going to be using this. We're using this. So it's C35 towards this way, and we want it to be 9. Click on apply, and it's okay. So that's the point here. So that's the point here, C37. So now we know that we're going to be shifting this to this particular point. So we now go back to our operations, and we're going to be using this. So bear in mind that since we are shifting all this, we are going to click all the points that are going to move. We'll click all the points that are going to move. So the very first point that will move, of course, is 35. Press your control, 34 will move, 36 will move, 33 will move, and then these curves will also move. So C will move, this will move, this will move, this will move, this will move, and then we click on enter. And then we're using this as our point. So you see all the points now. Once you bring it, see, look at all the points that are going to be moving. So now remember, It is C35 that is moving. So we move that C35 gradually, gradually, gradually until you reach a point where you have the C37 right there. Have you seen that? Right there. That is where you have C37. So you just hit your mouse, this comes out, and then you click on OK. So you see that different points have been formed now. There's now a new point for your curve, and then there is the point that will go like so to form the half circle sleeve. Now, in order not to have any kind of confusion, we are going to hide all these other ones we are now going to be using for this new thing we are going to be drawing. So what we'll do now, we'll just go here. We do not need this C35. Press your control key. We don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. We don't need C37 anymore. We do not need C33 anymore. And then we'll hit enter. And then we'll now put it in one of the groups. And we click on OK. So you see it's clean. You can always see what you're doing. Let me shift this a little bit. So just looking at it, you see the curve. See how the curve is going to go. You know? See how it's going to go from here to here, to here, to here, to here, and then here, and then the semicircle hemline will just come like this. So let me quickly use, for many points, you're going to be using spleen. You're going to be using this spleen because there are many points that you're going to be joining together. So let me quickly use the spleen and then adjust our curve, and then our semicircle hemline sleeve will be ready. So we are going to be joining. First, you click on it. You first join all these other points from here. Go here, go here, go here, go here. Then click enter. I have to adjust it, so I'll just pause the video and adjust it and get the curve. Then I also get this curve the same way. Then we'll join these two lines here. Our semicircle hemline sleeve is ready. I've joined all the points, as you can see. Now, there are two things I want to let you know here. You can either use this particular curve or use the spleen. Sometimes I discover that when you use the spleen, it's more difficult to get a real beautiful curve sometimes. So what I did, I used this one and just joined C to C8, C5, and then I adjusted it such that the curve passes through all the points. And I discovered that it gave me a better curve. Did the same thing for the hemline semicircle sleeve part. So now all we need to do is to extract this, and I've already extracted it, and that is my sleeve right here. So we now have all our pattern piece. All we need to do now is to label it and then download it as a PDF format. I have a dedicated video on how you can label your patterns on SEAMLY2D, and also a dedicated video on how you can download your SEAMLY2D patterns in PDF format. But you can stay tuned to subsequent videos where I will just do short videos on simply how to download and simply how to label, because some people might not like long videos. So if that is what interests you, then stay tuned for my subsequent videos where I'm really going to break it down and do very short videos on just how to download as PDF and also how to label your patterns on SEAMLY2D. With this, I've come to the end of this video. It's quite a long one. I did not want it to be this long, but unfortunately it is long. And if you have watched to this stage, thank you for watching. And if you feel that this is too complicated for you, as I said, I already have these patterns in different EU sizes, EU size 32 to EU size 48. If you're interested in sewing this wrap blouse with this semicircle hemline sleeve, then feel free to click the link below this video and get your own patterns. Thank you for watching. Till my next video.